Ever wonder why you just can't stop thinking about that one person? Maybe it's an old flame who keeps popping up in your dreams, the coworker whose words haunt you after hours, or someone from your past who still manages to hurt you, even when they're nowhere around. Believe it or not, you're not alone in this, and Zen Buddhism actually has some surprisingly practical and transformative answers to this very modern problem. So stick with me, because we're about to unpack deep, ancient wisdom that's just as relevant today as it was centuries ago. By the end of this video, you'll have 7 powerful reasons you can't let someone go. And even more importantly, you'll have a Buddhist roadmap for finding peace. Seriously, pay close attention to number 7. That last one, it's the real game changer. And if you find yourself craving more insights on growing calm and resilient, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your stories and learnings too. All right, let's dive in. Style hint: a close-up of water rippling in a serene pond with a single lotus flower floating on the surface, symbolizing the start of a calm and meaningful journey. No text over image. Let's get honest for a minute. When someone is always in your thoughts, it's easy to mistake this mental replay for deep love or longing. But what Zen Buddhism teaches is this: there's a difference between love and attachment. Love is calm and freeing. Attachment, on the other hand, stirs up anxiety, jealousy, and even the urge to obsessively check their every move online. Ever catch yourself scrolling through someone's social media feed, feeling that nerve-wracking uncertainty or desperate need for validation? Classic attachment. To quote the Buddha, attachment is the root of all suffering. This doesn't mean we shouldn't care about others, but when our identity or happiness feels hooked onto another person, that's when our thoughts run wild, burning us from the inside like a hot coal clasped too tightly. So, next time you're lost in thought about someone, ask yourself, is this peaceful warmth or anxious clinging? The answer can change everything. Eastern wisdom says people stick in our minds not as punishment, but because something's unresolved. Think of karma not as mystical fate, but as unfinished emotional business. Maybe it's guilt, unspoken words, or pain you haven't admitted to yourself. Or maybe someone was sent your way as a tough but vital teacher. Zen suggests that those who haunt our thoughts most are sometimes the ones our souls need lessons from the most. If this sounds familiar, challenge yourself. What lesson is hanging in the balance? What truth or pain are you avoiding? Sometimes those nagging thoughts are actually signals pointing you to healing, if you're willing to look. Here's a bit of psychological magic mixed with spiritual wisdom. Zen masters and depth psychologists alike agree. Parts of ourselves that we hide, our shadow side, often get projected onto others. Suddenly, someone's confidence or flaws are just magnets for your attention, when in reality, they reveal something important inside you. Ask yourself, what trait in this person triggers me? When you spot it, notice if it's a quality you haven't come to terms with in yourself. A Buddhist saying goes, others are mirrors. When you reclaim your projections, their hold on your mind naturally dissolves. We all catch ourselves fantasizing about second chances, revenge, or the perfect resolution. But Buddhism teaches that suffering often comes from clinging to what should happen instead of facing what is. When you're fixated on changing the story, wishing for reconciliation, recognition, or revenge, your mind loops the same scenarios over and over. The antidote here is what Zen calls beginner's mind, meeting the present moment as it truly is, not as we wish it was. When you drop the expectations and practice accepting what's happening, however messy, your thoughts lose some of their relentless grip. By the way, if you found even one of these insights relatable so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone wrestling with old memories. You never know who might need to hear this. Next, a real eye-opener. Buddhism teaches that you are not your thoughts. Hard to believe, right? Most of us, when we're stuck obsessing over a person, start seeing each of those thoughts as urgent, important, and true. But imagine your thoughts as clouds drifting by. When you learn to observe them without getting pulled in, you take back your power. So next time you catch yourself thinking, I miss them, try reframing it to, there's a thought about missing them. This one shift can put you back in the driver's seat. When someone dominates your mental space, it's easy to feel like it'll last forever. The love, the loss, the sting. But Buddhism reminds us everything changes. Our feelings, no matter how intense, are always in motion. Even your most persistent thoughts will soften and move on. Really letting this truth sink in is like opening a window and letting fresh air into a musty room. Here's where it gets really profound. Sometimes the person you can't forget isn't just a psychological obsession. They might actually be a kind of spiritual assignment. According to Buddhist thought, certain souls cross our paths so we can help each other grow, often in uncomfortable ways. If someone's presence lingers, maybe it's because there's a larger lesson unfolding, something neither of you are finished with yet. Instead of fighting to forget them, ask, what are they teaching me or challenging me to heal? Sometimes our greatest teachers are the ones who shake us up the most, and growing through that is a gateway to your next level of wisdom. All right, let's talk solutions. How do you finally make peace with these stubborn thoughts? When the person pops into your head, don't push them out or judge yourself. Just notice, as if you're watching leaves float by on a stream. It takes away their power when you simply observe. Compassionately ask, what am I holding on to? Is there an unspoken emotion or lesson here? Approach this like a curious friend, not a harsh critic. Style hint, a cozy setting with a person sitting comfortably, hand on heart, gazing gently out a window at a tranquil sunrise, visually expressing self-compassion and gentle curiosity. Warm, soft morning light. No text over image. Odd as it sounds, true letting go doesn't mean forcing someone out of your mind. It comes from loosening your grip on the meaning you're assigning to them. Imagine holding your thoughts with open hands instead of clenched fists. When that person shows up in your thoughts, use it as a mindfulness cue. Inhale, feel your feet on the floor, and come back to now. Over time, this person goes from being a distraction to a doorway into the present. Send good wishes both to yourself and the person you're obsessing over. May you be happy. May you find peace. This isn't easy at first, but over time, it diffuses the emotional charge and brings a sense of relief. One of my favorite images from Zen, picture your mind as a river. When someone is thrown in like a stone, they cause ripples and waves. If you just let the river flow, the disturbance settles. The water either absorbs the stone or the current carries it away. The key is to let your mind flow naturally, trusting the process. Remember, as the Buddha taught, let go of everything, even the thoughts you want to keep. These people who dwell in your mind, when you see them for what they are, can become doorways to freedom, not just reminders of pain. If you found these insights helpful, please subscribe for more practical wisdom on living with more clarity, peace, and purpose. And let me know in the comments, who's been living rent-free in your head, and what are they teaching you? Until next time, may every visitor in your mind reveal a path to understanding and peace.